Sorry about that, I had a call and got interrupted. I'm using my phone. Can't prevent those things happening, unfortunately. Anyway, as I was saying, I've written a list so I don't forget things and get distracted. This process has been a slow discovery and a slow understanding of the things that they're doing to me, because they'll try their best to distract me from what they're doing by sidelining me, by suggesting that they're the council, by suggesting that there's some debt company, by suggesting that they're my old work, and that they're surveillance police. Those things, after time, you start to realize that they can't be true because it just doesn't make any sense. So my point about that is some things do become clear, and they will become clear naturally, because the longer it goes on, the more they expose themselves, because these other people that they suggest they are, it's impossible for them to be these people, you know. So things will become clear to you, you know, as time goes on, if you can stand it. You know, this whole thing is a lot of deception, and to keep you in a state of confusion and not knowing what's going on, high anxiety, high fear. They can induce states of anxiety, they can induce states of depression, they can induce states of fear. I no longer know what outside temperature is naturally, because they keep my temperature going up and down so much. I've forgotten what, you know, I can't gauge it, and it's just a sad truth, and I find it frustrating, but what can I do? They like to tell me that my body isn't my own, that it doesn't belong to me, that, you know, they're going to make me kill myself, and instead of killing yourself, why don't I just do what they say? I can't be told what to do. I refuse to be told what to do by anybody. No one owns me, so don't be told what to do by anyone. I'm not suggesting kill yourself, but just carry on being you. Their interference with technology. They actually started, before talking to me on a regular basis, they started interfering with my smartphones. I, of course, thought it was something like a virus, or the phone was just malfunctioning, but it would come on and off on its own. I would hear people talking over the speakers. You know, some of these things you just ignore because you think, oh, it's a malfunction, it's not important. You ignore them until these things start blowing up. They're actually doing stuff to my windpipes and my throat, and they can make my mouth really, really dry, or make my saliva glands overproduce saliva. When it comes to the body, there's so much they can do, and they will just do these things indiscriminately. They've now taken to making the small, it's either direct vibration, or it's making the small hairs in my ear vibrate. It's very, very irritating. It's something that they were doing to me last night, but it's just like getting a tickly sensation right in your ear, and they will keep doing it to me. And as you can imagine, it's very, very, very irritating. Anything that you find irritating, that I find irritating, they will just do non-stop. Or they'll do something and say, oh, that irritates her, let's save it for another time, let's save it for the big finale. Yeah, so as if you rang up the IT department at work, and they went on to the, making me forget what this is called now, when they, with the IT department, can control your computer. They go into your PC remotely and open files and close files just to see what's going on if you're having like an IT problem. It's like they're doing that. They do that in loads of organisations if you use PCs. I was an administrator for a very long time, and this happens a lot. You know, you bring up IT and they sort out a problem for you, and you watch them use your PC, and it's like, you know, someone else is moving your mouse around and clicking things, and it's all very entertaining. But my perpetrators are doing this to my mobile, and they'll open things at inconvenient times, they'll close apps, they'll turn on caps, they'll press buttons and write things, they'll, as I said, prevent apps from running. They haven't called people, but I have received strange calls and strange text messages. These are the things where the lines become a bit blurred, because you don't want to be paranoid and say, oh my god, it must be them, they're giving people my number and making them call me. I know this happens to other people, but to me this doesn't happen that much, but it has happened. I've written emails on my phone and on the computers, the PCs at the library, and as soon as I press send, they won't send. So it's like they're interrupting the connection, the internet connection, and I've had them prevent me from sending emails, job applications, emails to other people, and they'll tell me that they're doing it. They'll tell me very openly, and I'll just get a 404 on some websites that I know work. They'll mess around with my searches, like some videos on YouTube, I know that they're there, and I'll search for them and they won't come up. This might be a bit far-fetched. Of course, I'm not too sure about this one, because a lot of the things I talk about I'm pretty sure about. Again, it's my experiences, and I can't say that it's proof for other people, but I'm sure about a lot of these things. With this internet search thing, I'm not too sure, so I'll just say that now. Looking at my list. Sound and images, not only is it V2K, as I mentioned earlier, they'll make sound reverberate off cupboards, off pots and pans. They'll make things vibrate, they'll tap things. I've seen them knock down bottles. I don't know if it's that they can interfere with liquids, but it must be something to do with sound waves, because it is possible for sound to move things. You know, if you stand in front of a speaker, you can feel things. Your hair might move back a little bit, or you can actually see the speaker move. That is sound. Sound can move things. Sound waves can move things. And I've witnessed them do that. I've seen it with my own eyes. I haven't been high. I'm not hallucinating. I'm not deluded. I have seen this, so it's possible. They can move things. Not pick up objects, but knock things down, depending on how heavy they are. They'll make it feel like there are small light footsteps on my quilt at night, and I can feel the quilt moving. With the images, they will take an object that's in the room that I'm looking at, and they'll make it turn into things. So it'll look like it's turning into some sort of monster and turning around to look at me. Now, it's not that the object is being transformed. It's to do with my optic nerve. It's to do with the brain. And it's all these messages being sent to the brain, which are then interpreted by the brain. So we take it for granted that we see things the way we do. Everything we see, they're all messages being sent to the brain that tell us this is how things look. For all we know, these things might not look the way they do to some other species. You know, dogs don't see in colour. This is how we perceive things. So it's not actually that difficult to understand on a scientific level how these things are done. It's immediately freaky because that's what we're seeing. But if you understand how vision works and understand how it can be interfered with, it's really not that difficult. So yeah, they've made cushions turn around with me and bear the faces of people that I know, and it's all very sinister. And it doesn't freak me out anymore because I know how they're doing it, but they persist in doing this. They're not demons. I don't believe in ghosts. It's no spirits or anything like that. It's just technology. And that is